How's it going, guys? Davey here from PhoneBuff.com, and in this video I'm doing a speed comparison test between arguably the two most popular Android tablets out on the market right now in the Asus Nexus 7 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. So obviously the Asus Nexus 7 is aimed at that lower price point at either $200 for the 8GB or $250 for the 16GB. Of course, the Galaxy Note 10.1 is for the higher range, and this one is around $500. So with that said, let's go ahead and boot up the devices for our first speed test. So both devices are obviously off right now. I'm gonna press and hold power on both devices for a few seconds. Let go, and we'll go ahead and see which one actually boots up first. Now, both these guys are packing a lot of power. They both have quad-core processors. You're looking at the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor at 1.3 gigahertz. You're looking at the Exynos 4 Quad at 1.4 gigahertz. Of course, this guy has 2 gigabytes of RAM compared to the 1 gigabyte of RAM found on the Nexus 7. And obviously, when it comes to the OS, this one does have the newer version. Being a Nexus device, is running 4.1 Jelly Bean. This guy's running 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. From the boot up test, we can see that the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 did actually unlock or finish first, and I unlocked it first. And we'll go ahead and start up the application speed test from here. So let's go ahead and make this guy rotate up for me. There you go. All right, so first thing we'll do is open up the game Temple Run. Now, just to let you guys know, it is running on the same Wi-Fi network on both devices. And for the browser test, I cleared out the browsing history, so it's gonna be nice and fair. So I'll go ahead and try to tap these at the same time if I can. So 1, 2, 3. Saw the splash screen first on the Samsung Galaxy Note. Seems like it loaded up first. And we'll just wait to see the actual game menu. There you go. So you can see it did load up faster on the Galaxy Note 10.1. I'm gonna go ahead and hit home on both devices. I'm not gonna close them out in the background because they're both running Android. So we're gonna see the multitasking capability of both devices. I'm gonna really quick turn up the brightness on the Galaxy Note. All right, so I went ahead and turned up the brightness, and let's go ahead and go to the next application, which is Flickster. So 1, 2, 3, go. And again, it looks like it loaded up faster on the Galaxy Note, mainly because you can see these thumbnails over here are all loaded up, or for the most part are loaded up. On the Nexus 7, they're still loading up, and you can see some of them are starting to roll through now. There you go. Now we got the thumbnail. So obviously, it did process faster on the Galaxy Note tablet. And let's go ahead and go to the next application, which is Google Earth. So 1, 2, 3. Saw the splash screen first again here. Saw the Earth here first. And presumably we're gonna assume this one, or this one's faster. So the rendering's a little bit faster over here, but this one actually went closer, so that's probably why it was blurry. Never mind. So we'll go ahead and tap out of there. We'll go to Google Maps. So 1, 2, 3. And again, saw it a little bit faster on the Galaxy Note 10.1. We'll go ahead and close out of here. And last application we'll run is Score Center before we get into the other tests. And actually loaded up a little bit faster on the Nexus 7 here. We'll go ahead and swipe over and wait to see which one we saw the content first on. Again, Score Center on the Nexus 7 is faster. We got an ad, we don't want to see that. Go ahead and go to the NFL page, and pretty much it seems like the Nexus 7, albeit a little bit, but it is faster than the Galaxy Note when it comes to this certain application. So obviously, your real world experience is going to be a little bit different depending on, what applications you have. But these are just 5 general apps that I use. And for the most part, you give the edge to the Galaxy Note 10.1. But the Nexus 7 wasn't that far behind. I mean, really wasn't that big of a difference. And it did load up a little bit faster on Score Center. Biggest difference, I think, was in the Flickster app, where the Galaxy Note did load it up, the little thumbnails, a lot faster than the Nexus 7. So let's go ahead and run a benchmark. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the applications over here. So let's hit remove all if I can, and I'll go ahead and swipe them out of here. And we're just going to do a quick quadrant benchmark, so that way we can kind of get an idea as far as the benchmark score. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Quadrant Professional app on both, and then we're going to hit run full benchmark. And I'll just skip through this whole process so that you guys don't have to actually watch it, and I'll let you guys see the scores at the end. Alright, so both devices are now done, and you can see the the Nexus 7 scored a 3,667. Obviously, this is just a benchmark, but gives you a good idea as far as what as far as what the benchmark tested, what the score is. And on the Galaxy Note 10.1, scored a 5,850. So obviously, pretty much like the performance we've seen thus far, the Galaxy Note 10.1 is performing better. The frequency obviously is faster at 1.4 gigahertz versus 1.3. And there is more RAM, so it's kind of expected. Both screens are actually running at the same resolution, so that's not really playing a factor. Let's go ahead and do the browser test now. So I'm gonna open up Google Chrome. Google Chrome isn't the default browser over here. It is on the Nexus 7 because of Jelly Bean. On here is just a regular Samsung browser, but I'm not gonna be using that because I want it to be a little bit more fair. I'm just gonna load up a couple websites. I'm gonna do the Google search for those websites first, so that way the preloading doesn't affect which one I type in first. So first website we'll do is phonebuff.com. All right, so I just did a quick Google search for PhoneBuff. Obviously the first link is gonna be phonebuff.com. I'm gonna tap on these guys at the same time. So 1, 2, 3. And we'll try to see which one actually loads first. So try to pay attention. I might not be able to call it accurately because it is kind of hard to look at two devices at once. Saw the ads here first, so that gives me a better idea. This status bar actually showed to be finished a little bit before this one, but from looking at the content, it looks like the Galaxy Note did load it up a little bit faster. We'll go ahead and do a quick scroll test. So both scrolling really smoothly. We'll tap on this article right over here. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully this one will give us a better idea. And we saw the content here first, and that one was really close. I mean, really couldn't tell. Obviously, using Google Chrome with a quad core, you're gonna get pretty much the same results, seems like. All right, so I'll go ahead and do a Google search for NFL. All right, so you can see NFL.com shows up at the top on both Google searches. We're gonna go ahead and tap on these at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, and try to see which one actually loads up first. Saw the content here first on the Galaxy Note, and scores first here. And again, the big slideshow over here. So pretty much safe to say that the Galaxy Note 10.1 does load up the NFL website faster. And last test will be, let's do New York Times. So I'm just gonna do a Google for that. All right, so I did a Google search for New York Times, and we'll go ahead and tap on the website right over here at the same time if I can. So 1, 2, 3. And saw the content first on the Galaxy Note 10.1, more of the pictures, and it's already done. This guy seems to be loading. I mean, that's what the status bar says, but it looks like it's pretty much done for the most part. So win still goes to the Galaxy Note 10.1. For our last test, we're just gonna do a browser mark benchmark, so that way we can see the benchmarks of those browsers, and we'll be done with it. All right, so I'll go ahead and run the benchmark, and I'll just skip through the results so that way you guys can see exactly what each device scored. All right, so the browser mark benchmark is done, and the Nexus 7 scored a 129,754. So a really high score here. Obviously, you're gonna get a great browsing experience on the Nexus 7. And we'll go ahead and look at the Galaxy Note 10.1, and you can see it scored a 159,922. So really amazing scores on both devices, but obviously the faster one, or the higher score, is on the Galaxy Note. Honestly, that's what's been reflected throughout this whole speed test for the most part. And I mean, you can't really fault the Nexus 7. It only costs $200 to $250, where this guy's over $500. So not really that big of a deal considering that this guy is so close. It might be worth it for you guys if you want to spend that much on a tablet. Really great performance for per dollar compared to this one. However, you're gonna get more features. This is not a device comparison by any means, just a speed comparison. But anyway, those are the results. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.